The elderly woman's shop was no more than a wooden stall on the corner of a quiet, dusty street. Its shelves were thin and uneven, holding only a few packets of bread, some vegetables, and a small pot of soup. She reheated each morning. Every day was a struggle. She counted coins carefully, knowing that one bad day could mean sleeping hungry. Yet despite her own poverty, her heart remained rich in compassion. One cold afternoon, 3 young boys appeared at her shop. Their clothes were torn, their faces pale with hunger, and their eyes carried a silent desperation no child should ever know. They stood quietly, whispering among themselves, clearly afraid to ask for help. The woman noticed their shaking hands and the way they stared at the food, as if even looking was a luxury. She understood that look. She had seen it in the mirror many times. Without asking questions or expecting anything in return, she made a decision that went against logic, but followed her heart. She filled 3 bowls with hot soup, added fresh bread, and gently placed them in front of the boys. "Eat slowly," she said with a warm smile, as if they were her own grandchildren. For a moment, the world felt kinder. As the boys ate, she watched them with quiet satisfaction, ignoring the fear that she might not earn enough that day. To her, feeding hungry children was more important than counting losses. When they thanked her with trembling voices and promised to remember her kindness, she simply waved them off, believing she would never see them again. That day, she closed her shop with fewer coins, but with a heart full of peace, unaware that her small act of kindness had just rewritten her destiny forever. Time moved forward quietly, just as it always does, carrying people away without warning. The 3 boys never returned to the little shop, and slowly their faces faded into the elderly woman's memories. Seasons changed, years passed, and life remained hard. Her small shop grew older, just like her. Its paint chipped, the roof leaked during rain, and the wooden counter bore the marks of countless long days. Still, she opened it every morning, relying on hope more than profit. The woman often wondered what became of those boys. She hoped they had found safety, food, and a future better than the streets. But reality offered no answers. Her own struggles deepened with time. Her hands trembled as she counted coins. Her back bent under the weight of age, and customers became fewer. Some days she barely sold enough to eat, yet she never regretted that day. Kindness, she believed, was never wasted, even if the world never noticed. Then came a morning that felt different. The street was unusually quiet when a sudden, unfamiliar sound broke the silence, a deep, powerful roar unlike anything she had ever heard. The ground seemed to vibrate as the noise grew closer. People stepped out of their homes, curious and confused. The elderly woman looked up from her counter, shielding her eyes from the sun. 3 sleek luxury cars slowly turned onto the narrow street, their polished bodies shining like something from another world. They moved, carefully, as if respecting the humble place they had entered. The cars stopped directly in front of her small, worn-out shop. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause. The woman's heart pounded with confusion and fear. Why would such expensive cars come here? She had no idea that fate, which had been quietly working in the background for years, was finally ready to reveal the miracle, born from her kindness. The doors of the 3 luxury cars opened slowly, drawing the attention of everyone on the street. Well-dressed men stepped out, their shoes spotless, their posture confident and their presence powerful. The elderly woman felt her hands tremble as she stood behind her small counter, unsure whether to be afraid or simply amazed. Such people had never come to her shop before. One by one, the men walked toward her. As they came closer, something familiar stirred in her heart. Then she saw it, their eyes. Despite the expensive suits and confident smiles, those eyes carried the same warmth and gratitude. She had seen years ago in 3 hungry boys. Her breath caught in her throat as the truth slowly dawned on her. "We found you," one of them said softly, his voice filled with emotion. He knelt in front of her, holding her trembling hands. "You fed us when we had nothing. You treated us like family when the world ignored us." The other two joined him, tears shining in their eyes. They explained how that single meal gave them hope on their darkest day. It reminded them that kindness still existed, and that belief pushed them to survive, work harder, and rise together. The woman's eyes filled with tears as memories rushed back. She hadn't even remembered her kindness as something special, but to them, it had changed everything. The men revealed that they were triplets, now successful entrepreneurs who had never forgotten the woman who saved them with a bowl of soup and a smile. As neighbors watched in disbelief, the brothers promised to repay her kindness, not with money alone, but with dignity, care, and a new life. In that moment, the poor elderly woman realized that her smallest act of love had returned in the most extraordinary way, proving that true kindness always finds its way back home.